Hi everyone, welcome to our lesson on trig ratios. This is actually a bit of revision from last year as well. So there's a few things you're just going to have to accept. And one is the following, soccer toe. I've put a link onto a really annoying song, and at the end of this video, I'd like you to have a quick look at that one as well. And you'll replay that video again in a later lesson. Now, soccer toe is often written like this, it's always spelled like this. But I like to write it in a different way, and the reason why will become clearer as we go on through our videos. Instead of writing a line like this, I'm going to re-spell soccer toe like this. I'm going to spell it S-O-H-C-A-H-T-O-A. So these things here almost look like fractions, and in fact, they are going to be fractions. So we can spell soccer toe this way, or we can spell soccer toe this way. Now, what do all those letters stand for? Well, the S, the C, and the T are sine, cos, and you will have seen a little button with those letters on it on your calculator. So what this is saying is that the sine is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse, and we met the hypotenuse in our last video when we were looking at Pythagoras' theorem. Now, from now on, I'm not writing opposite and hypotenuse every time. I'm going to use an abbreviation of those. The C tells us that the cosine, or on your calculator it's just cos, C-O-S, is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. I'm shorting the hypotenuse to hype now. And finally, T, the tangent, or the tan button, I'm running out of red, so I'm using tan, but it actually stands for tangent, is equal to the opposite, now opposite over the adjacent. I'm going to use A to the J for adjacent. Now you might still be a bit confused. You might be thinking, okay, you told me sine, cos, and tan, and buttons on my calculator, but what's all this opposite and hypotenuse stuff, adjacent and hypotenuse? So we're going to spend a bit of time working out in some of these right angle triangles, what are all these opposite, hypotenuse, adjacents? Now if you think back to last lesson, we can already pick out the hypotenuse for all four of these triangles because we said that the hypotenuse was the longest side and it was always opposite this right angle. So in this triangle here, the hypotenuse is definitely this side, and I'm going to call that hypotenuse. Or I could have just put H. In fact, for these other ones, I might just put H. In this one, I hope you can identify that this is our hypotenuse. In the third one, this line here is our longest side of the triangle, our hypotenuse. The last one's a little bit tricky, but just keep in mind, we've got our right angle is here, this is the line opposite it, this is our hypotenuse. So I've just changed the orientation of that triangle to try and trick you a bit. Now, before we can work out which of these sides is the adjacent side and which is the opposite side, we need to know what angle we're interested in or where we're standing. So I'm going to tell you in this first one that we're interested in, or we're at this angle here. So this is the angle where we're kind of standing or working from, and I'm going to give it the label theta. Now, theta, and we usually use Greek letters or anything to do with an angle. I'm going to do that for the rest of this lesson. But theta comes up quite a lot. So let me use theta. Now spell theta, T-H-E-T-A, that's just on the side. Okay. If this is the angle that we're standing at, the side that's opposite this angle is this side over here. So that would be our opposite. From now on, I'll probably just use O. Now there's only one side left. So that must be the adjacent side. But let me tell you something else about the word adjacent. The word adjacent just means next to. So if you were sitting here in class with me, I might say that Katrina was adjacent to Scarlett, because they're right next to each other. If you look at our angle again, the side that is adjacent to that angle is this one here. Now you might say, Miss, that one's also adjacent to that angle, but that one's already got a name, that's the hypotenuse. So this is our adjacent side. Have a look at our next one. I don't know which one the adjacent and the opposite are because I don't know what angle I'm standing at. So let's say I'm standing at this angle this time. Put my theta in there. I already know my hypotenuse. The side that is opposite this angle is this one, opposite, and the side that is next to this angle is this one here, so that'll be the adjacent. Now, if you're going to use O and A, make sure that that looks like an O and that looks like an A. In the next one, I'm going to use a different Greek alphabet letter. I'm going to use beta, but that still tells me that I'm working from this angle in here. So you might like to pause. If I tell you that we're going to be working from this angle and this one, you might like to pause to see if you can work out which side is going to be the opposite, which side is going to be the adjacent. Okay, so you've paused and come back, or you're just staying with me. We've got our hypotenuse. This side here is opposite that angle, so there's our opposite. And this side here is adjacent or next to that angle, so that's our adjacent. In our final triangle, we've got our hypotenuse. This side here is next to our angle, so that's our adjacent. And this side here is our opposite. So we've got that. So hopefully you feel comfortable now about labelling opposites, adjacents and hypotenuses, because you're going to need that for our next section. So you might like to pause and do the first question instead of the C. We might like to keep going. Alright, so we've said that we use our Greek letters for angles, and I've put our Greek letters into these angles here. So now that I've got my angles, it should be really easy to go through and identify all our opposites, hypotenuses and adjacents. You might like to draw these three triangles and label those things, or you might like to watch me do it. So I'm going to go on this one, I'm going to do my hypotenuse, my adjacent, and my opposite. This one here, I'm going to do my hypotenuse, my adjacent, my opposite. And for this last one, I've got my hypotenuse, my adjacent, and my opposite. This is confusing, there's lots of letters, but don't worry, we'll get to that together. Alright, now there's no questions here. I've just asked you to label them. But what if I now said to you that I want you to write down for me the sign of theta? This is where we're going to use our SOHCAHTOA. I've asked for sign, so I'm looking at this one here. I'm looking at doing the opposite over the hypotenuse. So from my angle, so it's equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The opposite is 9, and the hypotenuse is 41. That's all I have to do. Sine of theta is 9 over 41. The question and then the answer. Now, the next one, I asked you for the cos of theta. Well, we can look over to the SOHCAHTOA, and we see that cos is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So it's going to be equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is equal to 6 over 10. Now you can leave your answer like that, but you might also notice that this can be simplified. So we can simplify this to be 3 over 5. But this answer is perfectly fine for us at the moment. Finally, I'm going to ask you for, say, we're going to use tan next, let's use tan. Tan of alpha is our Greek letter this time. Now tan is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. So we've got N over P. And alpha is equal to N over P. Okay, we're nearly there. One last thing that you might get asked. We might get asked, which ratio should I use to solve this question? We're going to need this in other lessons. So again, I'll quickly go through. You might want to pause and identify yourself which sides we've got. We've definitely got the hypotenuse here, and this side is the opposite. I could label this as the adjacent, but I'm just leaving it for now because I don't know anything about it. In this triangle here, from if this is our angle, I've been told the opposite, and I've been told the adjacent. So when I look at this, I go, okay, I know about O and H. They're the things I know. So when I go back over to SOHCAHTOA, where do O and H appear together? Well, here they are. So this would be a question where I would use sign. So this would be a sign question. In the next triangle, the two sides that I know something about are the adjacent and the opposite. So I'm going to go back over to my software. I know where the A and the O appear together. Here they are, A and O. This question must be a tan. So you can go off and do your exercise now. You really need to know this stuff before we can keep going with trigonometry. So make sure you've done this exercise really thoroughly before we go on. Okay, everyone, I'm going to bring the computer closer to the board in case you can't see anything because of the glare from the lights. And I'll look forward to seeing you next lesson. And final one.